Welcome back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Sam Menzie. I have a great show for you today. First topic we're going over is the Mets sweeping the Yankees in the Subway Series. After that, we'll be going over some Blue Jays trade rumors, the Twins calling up one of the top prospects in baseball, David Festa, the Guardians-Orioles series recap, and some pair power rankings. Now, before we do all that, I'd like to ask you to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers to ensure that your question does get read on the air. Please use the link, gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get into the show for today. All right, so the first segment, as I talked about, is going to be about the Mets and the Yankees. The Subway Series did end last night with the Mets sweeping the series 2-0 against the Yankees. I did want to talk about it, what's going on for both teams, what's going right for the Yankees, and what is going wrong. What is going right for the Mets, and what is going wrong for the Yankees. Things usually aren't going right for the Mets, so kind of preoccupied, pre-wired to not say that. So of course the Mets did end up winning the first game 9-7, and the next game they blew them out. I believe it was 12-2. So we're going to go over those games and just what happened, and then talking about both these teams. So let's get into it. So in the first game of the series, scoring would open up in the bottom of the first with a Tyrone Taylor RBI single to make it 1-0. Alex Verdugo would throw out Pete Alonso at home, so only hold it at 1 to end the inning. Bottom of the second, Mark Vientos with his second home run in 2 at-bats, his 8th home run of the year to make it 2-0 Mets. He's had an amazing season, and against Garrett Cole, it meant a lot more. Then Harrison Bader would follow that up with back-to-back home runs, his 5th home run of the year, 5th home run as a Met, and a nice revenge home run for him against his former team to make it 3-0. Vientos would then homer again in the 4th, his 3rd home run in 3 at-bats, his 2nd home run against Garrett Cole, 4-0 Mets. As he said in the postgame, it's one thing to hit 2 home runs, another thing to hit 2 home runs against a guy like Garrett Cole. So props to him for how well he's done this year and just really been one of the biggest parts of the Mets season. Brandon Nimmo hit his 12th home run of the year to make it 6-0, but the Yankees would slowly come back as Juan Soto would hit a home run in the top of the 5th to make it 6-1. The Mets would add on, making it 9-1 eventually, but an Aaron Judge double in the top of the 7th would make it 9-2. An Austin Wells RBI single would make it 9-3, and then an Aaron Judge grand slam in the 7th would make it 9-7 Mets. So Yankees would eventually come back a little bit, would squander any other opportunity to score, and the Mets would end up winning the game, though, 9-7. So a very impressive win here for the Mets, playing Garrett Cole, having the pitching disadvantage with Cole going against David Peterson. But even with a little bit of a rough outing from the bullpen, the Mets were able to get out of it, score a ton of runs against this great Yankees pitching staff. And, overall, just a great job for the Mets. The Yankees had Cole on the mound, who went 4 innings pitched, giving up 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, no strikeouts, 4 home runs, 9 ERA right now in the season. Really rough start since coming off of the injured list. For the Mets, they had David Peterson, who was okay, 4 1/3 inning pitched, giving up 3 hits, an earned run, 5 walks, and 8 strikeouts. So, as much as Peterson did give up not that many runs, he didn't grow deep into the game, which, is a problem for the Mets and has been all year. So, the comment is saying you picked the Yankees to win the Subway Series on Tuesday. Your prediction didn't age too well. I did. I believe I picked this. I believe I picked them to split the series, but I did pick the Yankees to win one game. And hey, look, I'm a Mets fan, so I am more than happy to be wrong in this instance. I did think the Yankees would end up winning just because I thought Cole would have a great game, but of course, Cole did end up kind of not playing great. So good job for the Mets. Props to them. They've been playing great, and we'll get more into that for the rest of the segment. For the next, we had the Mets yesterday, for Wednesday, and this was just a blowout from the start. The Mets would just absolutely demolish the Yankees, winning 12-2. There's so many scoring opportunities the Mets had. I don't even want to go into it, but Aaron Judge had a 2-run homer in the top of the 6th. That was cool. That was the only way the Yankees got 2 runs, but 12-2 for Mets. Just an absolute scoring barrage and would just embarrass the Yankees in Queens. So right now, it's going very interesting for these two teams. The Yankees started off the season the best team in the league, and the Mets started off very disappointing. Fans were already picking out what prospects they wanted for guys at the deadline, like Luis Severino, Sean Manaea, Pete Alonso. But, the Mets have done very great as of recently, and the Yankees not so much. They have not done as good recently. And, again, we know about the whole Mets thing with Grimace and all that. Yesterday, during the rain delay, some guy was dressed up as Grimace, and he was, doing some things. He was kind of hyping up the fans. He was hyping up the fans in the rain delay in the stadium. That was very cool. So just vibes are high right now if you're a Mets fan. Things are going great, and everything is clicking. Also, I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce your name. Bifer, I think it is. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But he's saying who is our Subway Series MVP? I vote Bader. I think Bader would be a good choice. He had a very good Subway Series, 2 home runs in 2 games, of course. I would probably go Bader. I would maybe go Vientos as well. Vientos, of course, had the 2 home runs against Cole, which really ignited the Mets offense. So I would go either, but I think really that's a good one. Vientos also had some great plays in the field. I think Lindor is also a good one. He led up the game and played very well overall, but there's a lot of choices, but I think either one, Bader or Vientos, I think would be pretty good. But yeah, right now, of course, the Mets are clicking, and just really everyone is playing up to form right now. If you look at this team, the starting rotation isn't great, but it's doing enough. You don't have guys going very deep into games, but you have a bullpen that even though it is not the greatest, you have a lot of pieces there. You have Adrian Hauser, who's become an elite bullpen arm that can go a long amount of time. Daniel Nunez has become a very big, important piece of this Mets bullpen. Reed Garrett's solid, even though he did give up that grand slam to Aaron Judge. So the bullpen has been able to hold on with the pitching staff, but really it's just been the offense. I mean, you of course have Francisco Alvarez, who's been a beast since coming back from the IL, has had an absolutely incredible season this year. Just his hitting stats are off the charts. Hasn't played that many games, but that's still good. I mean, right now his 2024 season stats, he has 4 home runs, 19 RBIs, 904 OPS. Weighted runs created plus is great. So Alvarez has been everything that's imagined this year when breaking out in his second full year. So that's been very exciting. And you look at first base, Pete Alonso's doing great. Shortstop Lindor, since moving to the leadoff spot, has been one of the best players in baseball, I'd say. Mark Vientos has been a beast at third base. Third base has really been a black hole for the Mets since David Wright did end up retiring. So having a young guy like Vientos to be able to come in there and be as impressive as he has been just insane. And the thing with him is we always knew he could hit. It's just would the hitting translate to the MLB, and would his defense translate to the MLB? And right now, his defense has been incredible, making some great plays, making the easy plays really well as well, which is the big thing. Little grounders, running plays with your bare hand, things like that third baseman have to make. He's done that very well, so he's been a big piece of this Mets team. Again, Lindor, since moving to the leadoff spot, has been absolutely incredible. You also, of course, have in the outfield Brandon Nimmo, who's been great. Harrison Bader's been on a heater. JD Martinez has been one of the best hitters in all of baseball for the past month or so. So just really everything is clicking for the Mets right now, and it's just players playing up to potential. You see these guys like Bader, like Vientos, like Lindor, like Alonso, who haven't been playing great really for a good amount of time, but then finally are getting it going and are just this lineup depth is really lethal. There's really no easy out in this lineup right now, except for maybe right field with Tyrone Taylor, because Marte is going to be out for a little bit, and then second base with Jeff McNeil, who has just turned into a disaster since signing that contract extension a few years ago. So the 1 to 7 of this Mets lineup is genuinely elite with how they're playing right now. I mean, you have to start off with Lindor at leadoff spot, then you got to go through Nimmo, then you got to go through Martinez, then you got to go through Alonso. And you're like, okay, maybe it wears off a little bit. Nope, you got to go through then Francisco Alvarez, Mark Vientos, and then Harrison Bader has been doing very well. So there's a lot going right for this Mets team right now. The lineup depth is incredible. The pitching is going to improve once Christian Scott comes back from the minor leagues, once Kodai Senga comes back from being injured. So a lot is going right for the Mets right now. I think at this point it would be disrespectful to the team to say this is a fluke. I think at this point they are a very good team. They've shown it. They're very much in play for this wild card spot right now and have just done absolutely incredible. Again, the lineup depth is killer. Francisco Alvarez has proven to be just an incredible player. I mean, the Mets are some insane number. I think 22-8 when he's playing. So just overall, a fantastic run for the Mets right now. Sweeping this Yankees team, even while they are at home, is very, very impressive with how good they have done. So great time to be a Mets fan right now. They're doing very well. And yeah, if I'm a Mets fan, I'd be excited. After that, the Yankees, they are really struggling. They are not doing well. I think they're right now 3-9 in their last 12, so really, really rough right now. So yeah, just if you're a Yankees fan, not great. I think right now their flaws are starting to show, which is really with their depth. I mean, you have J.D. Davis batting cleanup right now, which is just rough. Yes, there are a lot of injuries with Stanton and Dominguez, but at the same time, you're looking. And who are the real big guys in your lineup? You have Soto, you have Judge. That's kind of it. Catcher, Austin Wells, been okay, but nothing too fantastic. First base right now, Ben Rice, still a rookie, still developing. Same with J.D. Davis. Second base, Gleyber Torres has been horrible this year. Shortstop Volpe has been solid, but not anything too great. I mean, he's been a good player, just hitting-wise, not anything like fantastic to write home about. Third base, DJ LeMahieu, not been great this year. Verdugo hasn't been that great for a while after starting off really hot. So right now, if you're a Yankees fan, your issues are starting to show. You still have a nice rotation, especially with Cole coming back, and I'm sure he'll be better in the future. But the lineup is an issue right now. You have Soto, you have Judge, that's great, but there needs to be some guys around them that can improve the depth, and that's just not happening right now for them. So definitely, again, the flaws for this Yankees team are starting to show a little bit. They're going to have to do some major improvements at the deadline, and I think they need some people. You need to have Austin Wells start hitting better. You need to have Gleyber show any inkling of him remembering how to hit a baseball. You need to improve at the corner spots. So it's a little rough right now. I think when you get Dominguez and Stanton back, it should be better. I think maybe you could flip Alex Verdugo for an infielder. That would be something interesting, I think. But overall, this Yankees team is still solid. Just their flaws are starting to show a little bit more than what we expected for the start of the year. So, yeah, that is it for this Yankees and Mets Subway Series. Mets are very close from the wild card right now. Should be interesting to see. Only 1.5 out. Will be very, very interesting to see for the rest of the year. But that was our first segment here, talking about the Subway Series and the Mets sweep and the Yankees. We'll be moving into our second segment, which is going to be talking about the Blue Jays and some trade rumors involving them. There's been a good amount of things floating around recently with the Jays, including Vladimir Guerrero, some comments from him, and a Ken Rosenthal article. So I did want to talk about all this, and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.